Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nashley, and today's video is going to be an update on our baby-led weaning with our 9-month-old daughter. So if you're interested in this, then keep on watching. Before I start diving into all of the baby-led weaning things I have to say, I wanted to give my Instagram a little shout out. I'm gonna put it right up here. This is my Instagram handle. You should go ahead and pause the video and go follow me on Instagram because I do post a lot of updates, not only about my 9-month-old daughter, but about this pregnancy I got going on. This is baby number 2 coming along. Very exciting things happening all over the place. So if that's something that you are interested in, then go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. So the last time I filmed this video, my daughter was 7 months old and she's now 9 months old. We started the baby-led weaning journey at 6 months old and so much has changed. She's developed so many new skills, and so things have been adapted, and I'm excited to share those things with you. Disclaimer, it is storming outside. Florida is so unpredictable. It's been so sunny all day and hot, and now it is thundering and raining. So if you hear the thunder or rain in the background, that's all it is. With this video, I'm planning on sharing just a couple recipes that I do for her. I'm gonna share a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, and what I do for snacks for her. I'm going to talk you through it, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing as well. And so, as always, we start the day with breakfast. She always has a big bottle of milk. When she wakes up, she drinks about 6 ounces of milk in the morning. That's the very first thing we do. And then we come downstairs, and then I start making her breakfast. And so for this breakfast, I decided to do something different. I wanted to make like a caprese omelet kind of thing, and I just went for it. I used was olive oils, eggs, spinach, Campari tomatoes, and mozzarella cheese. So first what I did was started to heat up my pan on medium-high heat with a little bit of olive oil. I would just kind of coat the bottom. I don't really use a lot of olive oil. And then I added my scrambled eggs into a bowl. And for this, I used 4 eggs, but if I had to do it again, I would make 3 eggs because 4 eggs was just a little bit too much. And I kind of just scrambled them up in the bowl, and then I added them to my heated pan. Then I went ahead and added the Campari tomatoes, and then I did the mozzarella. And lastly, I added spinach. And I let that cook for a couple minutes, and then I flipped it over and I cooked until the egg is done. It's important that the egg is fully cooked, not only because I'm pregnant and you know we should be having fully cooked protein, but it's also for her. We don't want to get a bug, so a stomach bug from having undercooked eggs. And when it's done, to me, it looked like pizza. I was so excited to eat it because I was like, oh my gosh, this is like pizza for breakfast. It doesn't get better than that. And so, along with the omelet, I decided to also have some toast with butter. And I've been using sourdough toast, and I put it in my air fryer for about a minute to kind of heat it up and make it a little bit soft. And I just add unsalted butter, and I cut it into little squares for her. And that's basically it. As you can see on her plate, I'm eating the same thing. I always try to eat the same thing as she does because not only does it save time, it's just easier. It's easier for me to cook something for myself and give it to her as well, which is what's so awesome about baby-led weaning. So mine, I have it like you know, in full, but hers I cut into squares. And I try to make sure that the squares are big enough, or small enough, I should say, that she can hold it with her little pincer grasp, because she has developed that little pincer grasp, and oh, she's so cute when she picks up little foods like that, but she's good at it, so now she can pick up food like that. And I found too that she would just like shove the whole thing in her mouth, and then she would be upset, so I just cut everything to small pieces. And because this is the first time that we're having this, she is like exploring it, and more like she ate a lot of it, but she did leave some, as you can see. I think she was just exploring the food more than anything. So once we finish eating our meal, whether that's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I always offer her baby food. So I'll offer her the cooked food that I've made for her, and then on top of that I will also give her baby food. And most of the time she will eat baby food after the food. And I'll use something like this, which is the beech nut, banana, cinnamon, and granola. It's one of her favorites. I have it right here too. These are, I like beech nut, the organic, and then I also like Happy Tot. I'll get more into it at the end of the video, but I always try to offer her something to eat at the end of her meal. And of course, I offer her water to go with her meal, and she always drinks water. She's a good water drinker. So after that, after her meal, I probably would give it about an hour and a half, and then I will offer a snack. So I'll do fruit, and that could be strawberries, cherries, mango, banana, oranges, anything like that. And I just cut it again into small little bite-sized pieces. And if it's anything round like cherries, quarter them so that they're small, and then at quarter I cut it in half so they're actual like really small pieces, so she won't choke on them. Because anything that's round shaped like cherries or blueberries, I don't know, anything round like that, any kind of fruit or anything round, you would just want to cut it in half and then half it. I'm just extra like that, but she has been doing really well with it. And then after the snack, I would give it about an hour, or maybe like right before her nap time. She usually is awake for about 3 to 4 hours, and right before her nap time I will offer her a bottle of milk. Yeah, and she'll usually drink the whole thing, and then she'll take a good nap, and then it's time to do it all over again. So for lunchtime, I decided to prep this little pack of chicken tenderloins, and I forgot to record it. I did this often, so I forgot to record it, but it's chicken breast tenderloin, and I prepped it for the whole week, so that way I would have something that I could easily pull from the fridge and cut up and have ready fast. So I started by doing my pan with medium-high heat, and I maybe used like a teaspoon of butter. And the butter, I always make sure it's unsalted because I don't want to add any more salt to any of the food that she's already eating. And then I season lightly the chicken, and I used adobo and pepper. And if you don't use adobo on your meats or your protein in general, you're missing out. You need to go grab you some adobo because it'll change your life, I promise. But that's the seasoning I use, and I make sure I go very light on it because obviously we don't want to put in a whole bunch of salt and stuff in her food. So yeah, I cooked the chicken on medium-high heat for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then what I did, I just kind of simmered it and I covered it, and then I just cooked it until it was done. That way, I think the butter just makes the meat more tender, and just cooking it slower, it's just better, and the quality of the chicken just turns out better. It's easier to chew and manage in the mouth. So that's always the goal for me and baby-led weaning. I just want to make sure that the meats are tender and soft enough that it's easily manageable in the mouth. And then also I did steam some broccoli, and then I just cut it up into small little pieces. And that was our lunch. We just had some chicken breast tenderloin with broccoli. With this meal, I did want to introduce the peanut butter puffs. She's already had peanut butter, but I thought that maybe doing the peanut butter puffs could be a way to keep that allergen in her diet, but she's just not a fan of the peanut butter puffs, so I ate them instead. Okay, then moving on to dinner. I wanted to do like a Mediterranean chicken quinoa bowl, and not that we don't do quinoa, we do quinoa, but she hasn't done quinoa before, so I was curious to see how she would handle the quinoa. And so the foolproof way that I found of making quinoa is to use my rice cooker. And what I do is I do 1 tablespoon of olive oil, rice cooker. Then I do a cup of quinoa and 2 cups of water, and then I add maybe a teaspoon of salt. I just kind of eyeball it on my hand and then I just throw it in there. And then you just press the button to cook, and it probably would be like 30 minutes and it's fully cooked and it's ready to go. So then what I did do some chicken thighs. We did a lot of chicken this week, but I cut some chicken thighs into squares, and then I added some red pepper and garlic to a pan at medium-high heat. I always have it at medium-high. And I cooked that through a little bit, and I added the juice of a half a lemon. Once the chicken was fully cooked and it had soaked that lemon and everything was just a little tender, I went ahead and I added the cooked quinoa onto the pan, and I started to mix it up. Then I added my Campari tomatoes and some cooked broccoli onto that. Cooked it through for a little bit, and then I added my feta cheese. And at the very end, I added feta cheese because I didn't want it to like fully melt in there. I still wanted there to be those little crumbs of feta cheese in there. So yeah, it was super delicious. She really enjoyed it. However, it was such a mess. It was a pain to clean up. If there's another way of giving your baby quinoa without it being just a disaster, you guys need to let me know in the comments down below, because holy moly, there was quinoa everywhere. On her and her hair, on us, on the dog, on the floor, in her diaper. I was like, oh my God, that was a lot. It was a lot. So I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. That's what happened. And although she really enjoyed it, I did not enjoy cleaning all of that up. It was a lot. Would I do it again? Probably, but not as often as I'd like to. Or if I did, I probably wouldn't give her the quinoa, and I would just give her the chicken, the pepper, and the broccoli with a little bit of mozzarella cheese. Or it was feta cheese. And I think it would be just as good. These are the 3 meals that I did. And I always do something very similar to those kinds of things. But we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I offer snacks and bottles in between. My pediatrician recommended at least 24 ounces of milk daily still, because up until they're 1, milk is supposed to be the main source of nutrition for your baby, and so you want to make sure that they're having the recommended amount of milk daily. And my pediatrician recommended 24 ounces of milk for us, so that's what we're sticking to. But we're still doing 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we do snacks as well. Anyway, so now we're gonna dive deeper into baby-led weaning and what it is that we have changed, or what it is that we're doing currently with our 9-month-old daughter. And so we're doing the 3 meals a day. We're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I do snacks in between. I would do like fruit, these little yogurt melts. These are the beech nut. They had another one that only had 3 ingredients, and that was really good. I think it was like strawberries, bananas, and green beans or something like that. These are yogurt melts. It still only has 10 ingredients, but I preferred the other one because it just seemed fresher. But beech nut, she loves these things, so this is something that I would offer her. I would also offer her things like baby food. We love the beech nut. This is her favorite, the banana, cinnamon, and granola. And she also has been enjoying these Happy Tots. Everything I buy from Publix. So in Florida we have Publix. I don't know what else, and like up north and stuff. But the Happy Tot is the superfood. It's got super chia in it, and it's also pretty clean ingredients, and she likes these too. So these are snacks that I would offer her along with a bottle of milk in between the big meals. Second thing we're doing is cutting her food into small pieces. Before, we would cut the food into strips, and then we noticed maybe like a month and a half, 2 months in, she was just like shoving the whole strip into her mouth, and then she would be gagging, and it was so scary. So we started cutting the food into small pieces, and small enough that she can pick it up with her little pincer grasp, because she's developed that pincer grasp now. And so we just do like small little bite-sized pieces. The third thing that we're doing is avoiding like heavy seasoning or salt in our diet. Even for us, it's been a good change in our diet. So we haven't been using very heavy seasonings, and we've been avoiding salt. And that's just because she's just a little baby. We don't want to be giving her a lot of salt or a lot of other condiments that maybe her little body isn't ready to handle yet. As we started incorporating the allergens, there's 8 main allergens, and those are peanut butter, eggs, fish, dairy, wheat, soy, tree nuts, and shellfish. And so what we did with Camila is we started by adding 1 allergen, and then we would give her a couple days. And if we didn't notice any kind of allergic reaction, we would then introduce another allergen and then give it a couple days. And also something that we did was introduce the allergen multiple times. That way, we knew that she was truly not allergic to something. And so far, we've introduced all allergens except for the tree nut, and she's been doing really well. We need to find a way to introduce tree nuts. I think we haven't, because it's just hard. Like the nuts are hard, and that's not something that I don't think she's ready for that yet. So it's not a big deal, because all of ours and like touch tree nuts and then touch her food and then give it to her. So I don't think she's allergic to tree nuts. I'm just afraid of giving her the large hard pieces of nut. I just don't think she's ready for that. Is that we have been offering her water throughout the day. I think at like 6 months, we were like, we should be giving her water if we're giving her food. So we have been giving her water with her meals and with her snacks. And then I also keep her little cup of water out daily, just like throughout the day, and she'll grab it when she wants to drink. It's the cutest thing, but she'll grab it when she's ready and she'll drink, and then she'll put it down and then she'll go play. And she loves her water. We haven't done juice or anything like that. She just drinks milk and water, and she's been super happy. And the last thing is just we're letting her feed herself. And so if she's done eating, she just stops. She usually starts throwing food around, and that's how I know that she's done. But I like to have her feed herself. So I got her like a little plate. As you saw, it's like a little blue plate, and it's got compartments, and she just picks from it and puts it in her mouth. Or when I see that she's starting to lift the plate up to throw it, because she has done that, I just put the contents on the tray, on the high chair tray, and she will eat it. If she's beginning to be done, like uninterested in the food, she will then start to like swipe at all the food, and it'll go everywhere. So that's how I know that she's done eating. And yeah, it's important for her to be able to feed herself. And I should be starting to give her the spoon so that she can learn not to make a mess. But just the neat freak in me, I'm like, I can't do it. She's not ready because she's gonna make a mess, and I'm not ready for that. But I think I'm gonna have to start doing that, because she needs to learn how to eat with a spoon. So yeah, that's what we're doing with baby-led weaning and our 9-month-old daughter now. She has been super successful. She loves it. I love the convenience of baby-led weaning, because I don't have to make her own food and then make us food. She eats what we eat. And not only is it convenient, but it's healthier, because I've been making sure that our meals are not seasoned so heavily, and that involve, green leafy vegetables and peppers and things that I normally wouldn't put in it, just because I don't want to, but I want to give to her. I've been putting in our own foods too, so we have been eating a little bit healthier and incorporating a lot more variety in our diet, which is awesome. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I wanted to quickly mention that just because something works for me and my family doesn't necessarily mean that it'll work for you and your family. Or just because we do things a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that you must do those things in a certain way. This is what has been working for me and my baby, And I would recommend that if this is a journey you want to go through with you and your baby, that you do your own research and educate yourself. There are so many resources online and even on YouTube about baby-led weaning, and you can take courses, ask your pediatrician about it, and get yourself educated, because it can be a little bit scary to start. You know, they gag, there's allergen foods that you have to introduce them to. And so it's just something that you have to know before you get into. I also wanted to point out that all babies are different and they develop at different stages, even if they might be around the same age. That just because my baby might be doing something your baby isn't, or vice versa, if your baby's doing something that my daughter isn't, doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong with them. They're just developing at different stages, and that is a-okay. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell notification so that you are notified when I post a new video. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.